Let's talk about breaking the long fast. How do I handle the end of my long fast and my next intermittent fasting time? Do I not do the intermittent fasting right after a long fast when I'm trying to break? Great question. Great question. And then it also depends on where you're at. Did I just get to long fasting, right? Did I just do my first 48? Am I barely on week 1 or 2 or 3 of doing long fasting? Or have I been doing long fasting for several months, right? That's important. If you want to chime in just to give me a little bit more context, are you just barely at the first couple of weeks of doing these long fasts?
Yes. This is actually the first time I've made it to 48.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. It's a really good feat. And the dopamine in your brain should be going off because, by the way, long fasting improves dopamine sensitivity. So that reward motivation center should feel like you should feel really motivated and really excited and accomplished too as well. So that's fantastic. Okay.
I'm mostly excited to eat again.
Yeah, you should be excited to eat again too, for sure, because it's a meal much appreciated. But after you break a long 48-hour fast, you're not going to be able to eat a lot, nor should you. Your body's digestive system has just been dormant, right? It's been in repair mode. It's not making the digestive enzymes anymore. It's not even churning or anything. It didn't forget how to do it, but you can think of it like it did for a little bit. And it's almost got to, some people call it like the digestive system is asleep and now it's got to wake up again. However you want to think about it, it is the actual, okay, your diet. Because in order, when you're not fasted, you don't think about these kind of things. But when you eat a meal, you have a lot of things that happen like clockwork. Mainly the stomach acid is churning and cranking it out. And then your digestive enzymes are being produced. And then you have peristalsis, which is movement of the. So a lot of these coordinated things are happening to facilitate smooth digestion. And now that digestive system is asleep. So a lot of those pieces are just not going to happen as quickly, as fast, or at all. That's why it's always started off with super small to digest food, like a bone broth, like a soup, and kind of increase it, the size and the difficulty to digestness of it over time. Now, I know that's not what you're asking, but we're just putting context here to fasting in general. And now you're asking, what about the intermittent fasting on the other days? And so, in a general sense, when you're in the weight loss phase and you're fasting for 48 hours in the FLOA protocol, right? I call lifestyle maintenance and I call protocol the actual loss phase, whether it's weight loss or fat loss. You're doing the 48-hour fasting. In a perfect world, you can get all your calories on those other 5 days in an 8-hour window. That's fantastic. But it's not as, we're not scrutinizing as much, whether that's a 10-hour window or a 12-hour window. I would rather you do a 12-hour window on those 5 days if that's what it took for you to get your calories. So getting your calories, generally speaking, for most of you, somewhere between 1,800 to 2,200, maybe a little bit more if you're bigger and very active, but hitting that T is the primary target, is the most important thing on those days. And if you can do it in an 8-hour window, great. But if it needs to be a longer window, that's totally okay. Because you're already doing a 48. The 48 per week that's the bulk. Think of that of 75%, 80% of the fasting benefit that you just got from the week. And the other days, a little bit extra, cool. But it's not nearly as deep or as powerful as the 48. Does that make sense?
So prioritize getting in enough calories.
That's the primary goal on those days. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm breaking my fast now, and I'm not going to get a lot of calories today, but it seems like I don't really want to try to get a lot of calories on a day where I've fasted so long.
No, you're not. So if, for example, okay, so we'll use your scenario. Today's Wednesday night, right? So your last meal was Monday night. You fasted for 48 hours. You're breaking your fast on Wednesday night. You only have a couple hours and you shouldn't be eating right before bed anyways. So the day that you break your fast, you're not going to get a full day's worth of food. So you're going to eat maybe a meal or two. You go to bed, you wake up, and now you have a full day. Now that's going to be your first full day where your goal is to hit the calorie goals. So the reason why I say it the way I say it is because I would create confusion for the people that are not doing dinner to dinner, who are doing breakfast to breakfast. And that's why you bring up a good point. For the sake of simplicity, when I'm quickly saying it, yeah, your non-long fasting days, you want to get a full day's worth of food. But if you are fasting from dinner to dinner, of course, you're not going to get a full day's worth of food in that tiny little bit of evening time. And it's totally okay. If you get one bowl of bone broth soup and then maybe you get another bowl of soup that maybe has some protein in it or extra protein or some vegetables or something, or if it was just bone broth, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. Just start getting stuff in, go to bed, wake up, and then bam, now you got a full day.
I got a question about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Just want to make sure you're good there. That answered all of yours.
I think so. I'll probably
Okay.
have more questions in a
Yeah. If you think of another part, feel free to chime in. Go ahead. Whoever had that. Was that?
Yeah. Okay. When I broke mine, I break mine about 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not lying, but I can literally get almost 1,000 calories to 1,200, and it doesn't bother my stomach at all after breaking my fast. Is that still an issue, or is that okay?
What's so crazy about that? Such an awesome question. There's no literature on this, right? We're all guessing, but a lot of the experts would give you the conservative answer. I would say a lot of the fasting experts, including Dr. Fung, he has the same kind of idea. Take it slow that day, easy to digest, easy to assimilate. But I would love to talk to him and ask him, are you saying that? And I think this is what he would say. I'm saying that because most people don't have that, what has, which is you just go into normal eating and he's totally fine. Most people can't do that. And most people would feel really crummy if they got that many calories after the long fast. I wish I had one day I'll talk to him. I know I will with the way we're going. But the truth of the matter is we don't know. We're only guessing. And it's interesting to think about this, but ancestrally speaking, our ancestors probably did not break a long fast with a tiny little, I'm going to take one bite and wait. And so it actually, intuitively, I think feasting immediately after the fast, we could probably argue might even be better. Now, I'm not at the point where I'm telling people to do that. If I wanted to head that direction, which maybe in time we will, if I get some more data, if I can consult with some more experts, we'll see. But maybe it's a bigger stressor to the body to break a long fast. Actually, not maybe. I would feel pretty confident that it's one thing to break your fast with a bowl of bone broth soup, right? That's the easiest thing you can put down. It's less stressful on your body. Asking your body after a 48-hour fast to handle 1,200 calories is a bigger stressor. But maybe that bigger stressor is actually beneficial when your body can actually tolerate it. Remember, the body loves stress, controlled stress that does not exceed your stress threshold. So it's a term I made up on my own, but it's an arbitrary line where your body beyond this amount of stress, and this is a culmination of physical and mental stress, we know that everybody has an intuitive stress threshold. And it's different because some of you have autoimmune diseases and you have all this stuff. So the stress threshold is low and some of you are higher. And you have to figure it out. And it's a guess. It's not objective. We can't test for it. But there is an arbitrary stress threshold. And so as long as you're not passing that, I do believe that the body loves stress. It needs challenge. The body adapts positively. And so I know that doesn't answer your question, but I think that's just such an interesting question to give people, everybody here, things to think with and sink their teeth into. But so now getting to my answer, if you feel good and you don't feel like, I'd say go for it. Truthfully, I think
I feel really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, totally. And you're one of the few that's told me that, just so you know. I have not heard that, but also there's a lot of people that probably aren't trying to eat that much because they're following my protocol. So I'd have to run an experiment and say, hey, 20 people, do me a favor and let's eat a lot of food and tell me how you feel. I would imagine 18 of them would probably say, hey, I don't feel good. But anyways, I thought, yeah, that was a really interesting sort of hypothetical experiment. But yeah, no, if you feel good, I'd say go for it.
Right. Now, how often can we do a 72-hour fast? Because for some reason, my body loves that. I've done it once. I did a 48, 72, and a 48, but my body really loves that 72.
My concern with somebody doing a 72 per week, in theory, I think that if you ate enough on those 4 days, which maybe you can because you're a person that can actually go straight into feasting, right? Again, you might be this unique kind of outlier. In theory, if you were eating enough on those 4 days, it should enhance your results and you shouldn't plateau. It's going to have to be trial and error. Again, listening to your body, experimenting. knowing the rules that I'm teaching you that apply to most humans that I've seen over years. If the results are still coming, we don't see signs of plateauing, you want to play around with it, you can go ahead and try. It's impossible for me to say that there isn't going to be some people that could make a 72-hour per week work. But I think if most people tried, it wouldn't. That's the best thing I can tell you. So play with that, communicate with us. Obviously, we'll help you navigate around that as much as we possibly can. But also, there's something to be said about if you're getting really good results, why change what you're doing too?
Okay.
Let's not create a problem. Don't need to either. Part of the 72-hour fast, if you don't do it every week, means you can use it as something to switch it up in the future, right? Flow fasting variability. So that's a concept. If you guys haven't seen that video and you've been doing this for more than 4 to 8 weeks, go watch that video. Low fasting variability is basically the need to switch it up, the need to introduce different patterns of fasting to your body. I was listening to one of the other fasting experts, Mindy Pell, talk about it on a podcast too as well. She has the same concept that I do, that the body is always trying to adapt. The body is always trying to figure out, okay, this is what I did last week. How can I do the same stuff I did last week, but more efficiently? That's the adaptation. The results are literally the adaptation, which is literally your body figuring out how to do it easier, how to do it with less resources. That we want that, but then, just like lifting weights, your body gets stronger, but it stops getting stronger if you keep doing the same things. So I think there's a lot of that still happening inherently with the fasting too as well. So just play with it, let us know, and we'll see how it does if you need to make that switch. If not, keep doing what you're doing now.
In terms of my overall goal, so I've dropped I've dropped about 20% of my body weight from when I started. I'm feeling so much better. I'm reaping a lot of benefits. I'm looking better. I'm feeling better. I'm getting lots of compliments and positive reinforcement from my friends.
Yeah,
But where I really want to go is I'm right now, I'm taking it on faith and just my trust in you based on watching you in the videos. I really want to give this flow lifestyle a try. Where I'm really wanting to go is I don't want to be on GLP-1s forever.
totally.
That's more of an assist, not the focal point of my
100%.
life. Definitely, I'm all in. I want to participate in this coaching program. I do have some goals, and this is up for discussion too, Dr. Jones, if you have your
Well, basically,
thoughts.
yeah. No,
But
totally.
basically, I want to drop a little more fat. I want to drop 20 more pounds. I really want to get, but I really want to get to 15 to 18% body fat. I'm at
Yep.
about 24 right now. My ideal body weight may be somewhere around 190. I'm less focused on total body weight and more
Of course.
about wanting to get between 15 to 18%. I would love to get to 15. I'd be happy with 18. I do want to build more muscle strength and definition and wean myself off of GLP-1s eventually. So
Totally.
those are my goals.
Got it. Got it. Got it. The last 2 to 4 weeks, have you been seeing changes in your body, dropping fat the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so my waist is definitely, I've had to get some of my pants altered. So what's happening is that even though I'm still at 205, I am still fe seeing some changes with my waist. I've also been a lot more conscious with focusing like on my core and sucking in my gut all the time. So it's more if that, so I've noticed that I'm starting to see more vascular
Definition.
things. So I'm seeing some things and I'm going to be continuing. In fact, over the next couple of months, my work is this time of year is slows down a lot. So that's going to free up, give me more time in the gym. I will tell you that the one thing medically that I do have one thing I didn't mention here is that there is arthritis in the left knee and in one of my walks, I did tear a meniscus, and so the orthopedic has basically he has suggested to go in and do a knee scope to fix the torn meniscus. It's not a replacement. I'm going to have that done next month, and and that's the only thing that I have at this point that medically that I need to work on or prepare for.
Yeah, and we have some peptides that we can help you out with. So if you feel like you want to accelerate the healing, that's totally fine.
Yeah. And
So let
then the one, I'm sorry,
oh,
and
go
then
ahead.
just one last, I'm so sorry, and thank you for just one last thing. You and I had a phone call recently because my wife and I ordered some tirzepatide from you,
Oh yeah.
and the way we ended up was that so that she could have her 6 month
Yeah.
supply at her level, was that we were going to build in and try to reduce my, because I was taking 25 units, get it down to 20 and maybe a little lower. So I definitely want to do that while I'm doing all these other things and especially incorporating flow. But then let's see what happens if I'm still having trouble or struggling. Maybe we can look at
If you are enjoying watching these clips from my coaching calls and my community, guys, I have thousands of like-minded individuals who are kicking ass. Click that link, I'll put it in the description of the video, where you can set up a free consultation to discuss exactly how my individuals are achieving lasting weight loss utilizing microdosing and intermittent use protocols. Now, back to the video.
either raising the amount on tirzepatide or perhaps even considering maybe something like the retatrutide or something
Retatrutide.
else. But anyway, that's it. So I'm done talking now.
Okay, totally. Yeah, if you're getting results the last couple of weeks, then we just need to keep going. As soon as you figure out your calories, let us know what you're eating so that we can guide you on a caloric goal. You text us as soon as you figure out. I'm guessing you're probably eating somewhere between 1,800 2,000, but we want to make sure. And then all we're going to do is we're going to focus on increasing that fasting window as with the flow protocol, pushing that to 24 and then getting it higher and higher. But and then keep doing your waist measurement too as well, so that we can ensure that because you need both, especially at your point right now. It's the combination of both what I see with the waist and what I see with the weight on how I can ensure that we're continuing to make progress. So you'll text us the average calories. We'll modify that if necessary. Keep increasing the fasting window slowly. The goal is to get to 48, however many weeks it takes you to do that. As far as the GLP-1s, if the primary goal is I got, like you said, but then now you're saying you might be okay with needing to buy more. So then you need to make a decision. If I would always recommend that we worry about weaning down on the dose when we're closer to our goal, is what I usually like. But if someone's, hey, this is all I can afford, then that's all we can afford. So another option would be to start weaning down now, but then that's going to slow down results. So ultimately, that's your call. So what are you thinking you want to do there? Do you want to stay at the dose so that we can maximize our results right now?
I want to maximize the result. I do. I don't have unlimited funds, but this is a priority, and so I think that I really want to. I think the sooner I can achieve the results, the better off. That's worth whatever it's going to take. If
Okay.
it's prohibitive, then we can look at other. I'm not worried because there are choices, and also I'm looking at it. I'm taking the long game here. I'm done with yo-yoing early in the past years ago, trying to get quick hits. I want something that's really truly going to be sustainable. And I will tell you, I do have the goal. So my wife and I booked a Mediterranean cruise for October of next year. So I
Yeah.
figure, all right, I want to see what I can do in 12 months. And so rather than, this holiday season. So I really want to just see where we can be. I'd love for us to be able to be at a point where I'm hoping by then I will have reached my goal.
Oh yeah. I
And
think I can get you there way sooner. So
you know,
and that's good if we don't have to wind down the dose. So looking at how we split what you got, you basically, if you stay at the same dose, you'll have 8. If you don't take any from your wife, you'll have 8 weeks. Just so you can think with that as far as
yeah,
when you want to get more. But yeah, and then as we get closer, we'll see how you're feeling and modify from there. But
yeah.
so with that in mind, you'll stay on the same dose of tirzepatide. You let us know the calories, increase the fasting window, and then we're going to make sure once we have that calorie goal that as the fasting window increases, that you keep the protein and the calories the same on the other days. As long as you do that and you dial that in, that's where we can achieve the lean muscular physique that you're looking to get. So
Along with the fasting window, just a question about that. So it's easier. It's honestly when I'm working and because I start usually at my day at 8, when the work hours at 8 until 5, and so it's easier for me to to wait until noon or noonish to have my first meal. But when I'm at home, it's a lot harder or like when I go to work out, like I worked out this morning at 9, and it was the first time I went on an empty stomach. And I was thinking, okay, I don't know, will I have the strength? And I was able to get through it.
So I've incorporated fasting before, and I didn't realize until after watching all of your videos how important it is. But just to give you a brief summary of what my daily looks like is I'm up at 3:45 in the morning. I'm at the gym by 4:30. I do about 45 minutes to 50 minutes of powerlifting, a little bit of cardio. My day starts my work schedule starts at 7:45. So it's pretty much sedentary. I come home, do about a mile, just a mild walk, and my last meal is no later than 7. I don't have lunch or breakfast. I don't have breakfast till the following day till about 12:30. At this point, I I don't know what it is I'm doing or why my body is so resistant to that,
Weight loss, you mean?
to the weight loss. So at this point, I don't know, do I need to be hitting a certain amount of calories, or am I supposed to even be going less than what I'm eating?
Well, so let's start there. You're definitely underdoing your calories, absolutely. So you said you've been averaging 14 to 1600?
Yeah.
So let's start you off at 1600.
Okay.
And then you are going to be in a reset. So you are going to be in a reset. So you remember the reset videos, it's like a little mini program within the program. You can do your intermittent fasting, but no long fasting until we tell you the reset is done. Okay. Which is going to take however many weeks it takes, 2 to 4 to 5 weeks, just depends. Your eating's not as low as I've seen. So yeah, I would think more in the 3 to 4 weeks at the most. We want to get your calories as high as we possibly can, where you're not gaining weight, and then we'll turn around and then we can start the protocol. And the protocol does not mean reduce your calories every day. It means increase the fasting window, the one long fast. So let's say we get you up to 2000, you're eating 2000 every day and you feel better and you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, which just happens for a lot of people. When you're eating more and not gaining weight, you feel better because that energy is being utilized towards your bodily functions. The goal is to get that one fast up to 36 and then eventually 48. And then the other 5 days, you have to keep eating the 2000. So that goes for you too. Like you have to keep eating. Otherwise, if you let yourself undereat on those days after the long fast, you'll go right back into a plateau. And so now a plateau, you're not in a plateau. You may feel like you are in the scale, but you're not in an actual metabolic plateau because you wouldn't be losing inches. In your case, you're not losing inches or weight. So I think you're in a plateau. A metabolic plateau, an actual situation where your metabolism has cranked things down. So have you been on GLP-1s or you're just starting this for the first time?
This is my first time.
Okay. So yeah, we would definitely want to get your metabolism as fast as we can. And then we can really sink our teeth afterwards into the longer fasting.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I think I'm in the best shape I've been since I was 25 years old.
Awesome.
I feel great. I'm working out 4 days a week. I'm fasting and I'm working out when I'm fasting, and I actually feel better when I fast and I work out. I don't know if that's bad, but that's what I've been doing.
What kind of workouts? Like weightlifting?
Yeah, like strength training once a week, and then I play pickleball on my fasting days too. So I'm working out about 4 hours on my fasting days, but it's not constant workout. It's just fun workout.
How many hours into the fast or how long is the fast going that you're working out during it?
I start fasting after dinner Sunday night, and I'll eat on Tuesday at around 11. So
okay, so you're doing
like 36 to 40 hours.
So you're doing the full flow fast and you're getting that much workout in there. That's a lot,
yeah.
but is it too much? You would know if you were pushing your body over remember that stress threshold that I like to. Overtraining is another kind of way to think about it too as well. But if you feel good and you don't feel that like you're pushing your body, obviously you worked into that. And there was an article that actually Thomas DeLauer, if you guys follow him, made a video the other day about what I've been saying all the time is like working out fasted is this particular video he made just showed insane amount of benefit. In fact, I think particularly he was talking about damage control that can be done when you work out fasted. But the point of it was there was just a really good response from the body when you worked out fasted. But he didn't talk about the candidate of doing that. Like you wouldn't want to do that in the beginning. So like I've always said, the body loves and seeks continual progression. And so getting to the point where you can work out in a fasted state, as long as it's not pushing you over your stress threshold, I think that's freaking great.
I sleep a lot better.
Yeah. So I think your body is communicating to you, right? And you want to listen to it. The only thing I would say is like anything, right? Working out too much, you get adaptation, and then now your body just slows down its metabolism. So just think of that. And same thing with fasting too. In general, your body can develop a little bit of an adaptation to the fasting too. If you're at your goal, then you really need to start considering the wind down on the fasting. You don't want to keep fasting 48 hours when you're at your goal every single week. As much as you love it, yeah, you don't, because you will adapt to it. Think of flow fasting like a medication. It's weird to say that, but in terms of, okay, once I'm at my ideal goal, my weight, my ideal target weight, my body composition, I'm all good. I just want to maintain now. A 48-hour fast is a big stress. So you want to use it respectively, just like you want to use GLP-1s and peptides respectfully. So can I maintain my physique with only doing it every other week? Because if you can, that means everything else is dialed in so much better. And that means, that means you're not adapted to it. You won't adapt to it if you're doing it every other week. So what I've found, if you do this, is you should be able to, and I by the way, being at your goal, if you haven't seen the whole Flow lifestyle videos, check those out, because that's where
I'm going to watch those.
Yeah. I have a lot of like that. Yeah. We've gone really deep on some of those topics. And so definitely watch those. But the general gist is just spend a month or two, go every other week, feel really good, feel stable, and then try every 3 weeks, feel really good, feel really stable. And then once you're at that every 48, every 3 weeks, that's pretty much the lifestyle. Because I say, usually 148 every 2 to 4 weeks is what I think most people will need to maintain.
Okay.
And with holidays around the corner, I know I'm going to be fasting a lot more over the holidays because I want to eat more and I want to not gain fat. So I'm going to be doing a lot more fasting over the holidays. That's how I can rationalize all the Oreo and pumpkin cheesecakes I'm going to be eating. But awesome. Thank you for that. We got, for the last month, I've done intermittent fasting every day. Today, I decided to go to 24 hours. Within about an hour left towards my goal, I started feeling really low blood sugar, difficulty focusing, concentration, dizzy, blah, 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 blah. Tested my blood sugar was 71. So I decided to break my fast an hour early. Love it. That's smart. Listening to your body's, whoa, okay, eat. I like that. That's great. I drank plenty of water today with electrolytes to stay hydrated. I really wasn't hungry, so that wasn't a problem. Are there things I should be doing to be able to fast longer without these side effects? So what you're just running into is the process of your body becoming more metabolically flexible, more fat adapted. Are you taking AOD?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Things you can do to speed up the process of getting to the 48, more AOD. You could do fat bombs. You could do exogenous ketones, MCT oil, which is a fat bomb too as well. So fat bombs, exogenous ketones, more AOD. Those are pretty much the things that will potentially speed up the process. But it's also just a time thing too as well. So you're treating your body, you're doing all the other things, you're trying to get your sleep in, you're keeping your stress under control. Like those are all good things for your body so that your body can do its own natural internal adaptation and become more naturally metabolically flexible. So that happens automatically, and it happens faster when you treat your body better. But then those are the things that I mentioned earlier that you can take to bridge the gap and allow your body to adapt faster.
Okay, so I did this fast. Like I said, I ended it just a couple hours ago. Would you recommend tomorrow I just go back to like my 17 and 7 intermittent fasting, or do I go right back and try and do like another 24 hours again?
Great question. So daily is your intermittent. So that should just be something you do every day.
Right.
Then once you hit stage 2 and 3, What's different about those two stages is we call those long fasting or flow fasting. So when you're in stage 2, you're trying to get to the point where you can do 2 24s, but you want to do them apart. So to answer your question, there you go. Yeah, give yourself a day or two to recover and then hit it again. Every 3 days, twice a week, you're trying to get really comfortable with a 24. Every twice a week cycle. And then once you're like, all right, I'm good, I feel good, then that's where you take one of those and try to go to sleep, go to bed. And that's the big hump. That's a big one. But the good news is when you're asleep, you're not hungry.
I was honestly really good right up until just like an hour or two hitting the 24. And then I just started really crashing down quickly. And so, yeah, I guess I will try. And then the things you recommended with the fat bombs and things like that, is that something I do every day, adding those in?
You mean every time you feel like you need them, or?
Just my goal is to keep getting these fast longer. So when you gave those recommendations of like more ketones, more AOD, things like that, is that something I should be doing like every day up until my fast, or just like the day before my fast, or how do I incorporate that?
Yeah, for sure. So it depends, and there's no one way, right? So AOD, let's talk about AOD. That's my favorite fat mobilizing peptide. I also know it's obviously the most pricey. So you're taking it once a day. If you wanted to get faster results of just fat loss in general, which also fasting for longer, you can take it a second one on your fasting days. You can also take a second one every single day. That's how you would do AOD if you wanted to go that route. If we're talking about the fat bombs, you can use fat bombs as just a way to suppress your appetite. You can also use it as a way to potentially help your body not crash as much and therefore allow you to extend the fasting. So you would do the fat bombs during those long fasts, maybe like an hour or two before the time where you crashed last time, to allow you to extend the fast. Yeah, you don't have to do the fat bombs every day because you're only doing the long fast twice a week. Same thing with exogenous ketones. You would use that the same way to extend the fasting for you. Now,
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, MCT oil is great. You could take a tablespoon of that every day. It's good for you, but you don't necessarily have to for that. So,
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
If you guys enjoyed watching this video, and you're going to want to check this one out, I get into a deep dive over GLP-1 medications, peptides, and lasting weight loss, guys. We'll see you later.